David Biello from Scientific American here at the Heartland Institute's Climate Change Conference, Day 2. And would you please introduce yourself to our viewers?
I am Roy Innis. I'm the National Chairman of the Congress of Racial Equality.
And what brings you to this conference?
The fact that there are issues here are similar to mine. I have analyzed the problem of poverty to be a multiplicity of factors, but the most critical factor is the problem of insufficient amounts of energy. There are so many hidden problems and injustices in that. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a venue where people could understand. We have gained political power as minorities. We have gained social civil rights with the 1964 Civil Rights Bill, but we have not gained economic civil rights. And the main factor that mitigates against our economic civil rights is the lack of sufficient energy. And I'm here to call for a re-examination of the energy policies of the country and the environmental policies. Those things are driven by the radical environmentalists, bamboozling the public and the politicians. Mm-hmm. We're prepared to organize to challenge that and to point out that they are, in fact, whether deliberately or otherwise, consciously or otherwise, they are, in fact, injuring minorities and denying them their economic civil rights.
And what's the best way to get power to the people?
Information. People...
Not solar photovoltaics or something like that?
We will get all those technological devices after we get people to understand that they're being played with. Mm. We have 3 candidates vying for the presidency of the United States. All of them are talking about how they can satisfy and cave in and acquiesce to the radical environmentalists, with the global warming hysteria and such. We have to let ordinary people who are well-intended, many of them go along with the environmentalist policies because they want to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. They don't know what the right thing is. Mm-hmm. We have to help them to see that that's why the taxes are high. Mm-hmm. That's why gasoline is moving towards $4 a gallon. That's why oil in the market is being sold at $103 plus per barrel. All these factors mitigate against solving many of our problems. That's why we are spending $400 billion to buy foreign oil. Mm-hmm. Paying guys who are going to come back with bombs and with terrorism to destroy us. Mm-hmm. When we have tremendous resources here in America, coal, gas, oil, we are able, if we should free up, change the environmental and energy policy, we'll be able to satisfy our energy needs and at a lower cost than we're doing now.
What about the environmental impacts of some of those power sources that tend to disproportionately fall on the poor who live closer to coal-fired power stations or oil refineries and the like?
Our technology should be employed to deal with it, to minimize those problems. What the poor is suffering is not the power plant next to their house, but it's the lack of energy available, affordable energy with which to grow and to improve their economic condition. Energy is an integral part much of the lack of affordable, available energy is an integral part of the poverty that we suffer.
Mm-hmm. So can you tell me a little bit about, I heard your speech and you were saying that the polar bear is kind of the enemy of the poor. Can you expand on that a little bit?
Yes. The people who are pushing to put the polar bear on the endangered species list naive or being deliberate in inflicting potential energy, potential damage to poor people's interests. If the polar bears are put on the endangered species list, that means that the bureaucrats and the politicians, the radical environmentalists, will be in a position to question almost any aspect of life in America. And the trial lawyers will have a honeymoon suing us, the government, the state, local, federal, and in our industries. It is not necessary to put the polar bears on the endangered species list. And if it should go on, I am going to open up a suit. I'm going to try to organize and get support from our allies to sue the government to block the implementation of that portion of law.
Mm-hmm. And what about the argument that a new renewable energy sources and the like will provide many more jobs than the few that are left in coal mining and at coal-fired power plants?
If we open up Anwar for oil, if we open up the Florida coast, the same area that Fidel Castro has opened up, the same area where he and his Chinese allies are drilling for oil, we will make more energy available, plus jobs available also. If we relax some of the restrictions on the use of coal to produce electricity, again, there'll be more jobs available. So any way you look at it, opening up America's tremendous, abundant source of energy, and instead of continually looking for foreign sources, it's in the interest of our people, an interest of our government, and the interest of our economy.
So what would you say, I guess, in parting to the environmentalists and climate scientists who disagree and argue that global warming is, in fact, a global problem?
Well, we do not deny that there are some controls of our activities necessary vis-a-vis the environment. Our concern is the compromise. How do you extrapolate from that admission of some problem with fossil fuel to the worldwide catastrophe that they're predicting figuratively tomorrow? Mm-hmm. That is the issue.
Okay, thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of the conference.